You aren't looking at the man standing in front of you. You're looking at the ghost of who he could be if you just worked hard enough. You tell yourself it's love, but in the quiet hours of the night, you know it's an obsession with a version of him that doesn't exist yet. You are meticulously sanding down his edges, unaware that you are erasing the very person you fell for. If you don't stop, you will eventually find yourself standing in a perfectly renovated room, staring at a stranger who has no soul left to give you. Do you actually want him, or do you just want the credit for creating him? It starts with a soft observation, a suggestion whispered in the glow of a Tuesday evening. You notice the way he speaks, the way he dresses, or the stagnant air of his career. It's subtle at first, a gentle nudge toward a better version of himself. You tell yourself that you see his potential, a word that feels like a crown but acts like a cage. To you, he is a rough diamond, and you have convinced yourself that you are the only one with the tools to cut him into something brilliant. But potential is a dangerous metric for a relationship. When you love someone for their potential, you aren't loving them. You are loving a debt they haven't paid yet. You begin to keep a ledger in your mind. Every book you buy for him, every outfit you pick out, every social cue you correct is a brick in a foundation you are building without his permission. You become his architect, his publicist, and his manager, all under the guise of the supportive partner. The psychological weight of this role is immense, though you carry it with a martyr's grace. You feel a strange, addictive rush when he succeeds based on your advice. It's a flicker of power, the realization that you can mold a human life like clay. But this high is fleeting. Because deep down, the project never ends. There is always another floor to add, another crack in the drywall to patch. You have stopped being his lover and started being his contractor, and the intimacy between you is slowly being replaced by a checklist. As the months bleed into years, the tension shifts from the external to the internal. You begin to feel a simmering resentment when he resists your help. You see his autonomy as a defect, a stubborn refusal to be better, when he wants to spend a Saturday doing nothing. You see it as a waste of the resources you've invested in him. You aren't just improving him anymore, you are colonizing his identity. You start to notice a change in the way he looks at you. The warmth has been replaced by a cautious, flickering gaze, the look of a student who is afraid of failing a test he never signed up for. He begins to filter his thoughts before he speaks to you, wondering if what he's about to say fits the new him you've designed. He is disappearing, piece by piece, under the weight of your expectations. The tragedy is that you think you're saving him from mediocrity, but you are actually stripping him of his agency. A man who is improved by force eventually loses the ability to choose for himself. He becomes a hollowed-out shell, a collection of habits and behaviors curated by you. You find yourself frustrated that he lacks initiative, failing to realize that you've trained him to wait for your instructions. You wanted a partner, but you've built a shadow. The more you fix him, the less there is of him to actually love. The silence in the house grows heavier, not because there is nothing to say, but because the person who used to say it has been renovated out of existence. There is a dark, unspoken truth in this dynamic. The project is never really about him. It's about the void in you. By focusing all your energy on his development, you successfully avoid the terrifying task of looking at your own wreckage. As long as he is a work in progress, you don't have to be. He is your distraction, a living, breathing canvas that keeps you from having to face the emptiness of your own creative or emotional life. You've placed him on a pedestal of your own making, but a pedestal is just a high-altitude prison. He can't move, he can't stumble, and he certainly can't be human. If he fails, it's not just his failure. It's a reflection of your incompetence as his creator. This creates a claustrophobic bond where his every mistake feels like a personal insult to your efforts. You find yourself exhausted, drained by the sheer labor of maintaining his image. You begin to realize that you are lonely. How could you not be? You are in a relationship with a mirror of your own ego. You miss the man he was, the messy, unpredictable, flawed person who first made your heart race. But that man is buried under layers of your improvements. You've traded passion for control. and the bargain is starting to feel like a curse. You have everything you thought you wanted him to be, yet you've never felt further away from him. The structure is perfect, but the house is cold. The collapse doesn't happen with a bang. It happens with a quiet, devastating clarity. It's the moment you realize that if you stopped pushing, he would simply stop moving. You are the only thing keeping this version of him alive. The realization hits you like a physical blow. You haven't built a man. You've built a monument to your own fear of being with someone you can't control. You look at him across the dinner table, wearing the shirt you bought, talking about the goals you set, using the vocabulary you encouraged, and you feel a sudden, sickening sense of grief. You realize that you don't know who he is anymore, and worse, he doesn't know either. You have both become performers in a play that has gone on far too long. The project is finished, and the result is a profound, echoing silence. You see now that love is not a renovation. Love is the ability to stand in the middle of a ruin and say, "I am home." But you were too afraid of the ruins. You wanted the gleaming tower, the finished product, the curated life. And in your quest for perfection, you've committed the ultimate betrayal. You refuse to see him as enough. The door is open now, and the draft is coming in. You are left with a choice that feels like a weight in your chest. You can continue to polish the statue you've carved, or you can step back and see if there is still a pulse beneath the marble. But be warned, if you let go, he might not stay, and you might finally have to look at yourself.